Hello, everybody. I'm Matt Vieira,
And I'm Mark Allison.
and we're from 401 Films, our film production company. We're doing something very special for the first time tonight. A few years ago, and we were just talking about this. It's about 3 years ago now, right?
Coming up on it anyways, yeah.
Coming up 3 years ago.
Yeah.
We shot a short called Ghost Poachers, and so we wanted to share that with you tonight ahead of us putting it live out on the internet. So we want to do like a little director's commentary. So this is Mark's brainchild, so I'll let Mark talk a little bit about it before we get going.
So like Matt said, it goes back almost 3 years, right, 2018. But this is like something that we had been talking about for a long time before that. Not just because it was an idea for a feature film. It still is, but we'll get into that later. But we wanted to do something about paranormal investigators and not like but kind of in the rawest way that you can think of, like the public access, like the real gritty. There's just something really passionate about the people that do that, and if you watch those, I mean, sometimes the production quality from those shows is absolutely awful. But yet, like I don't know. There's just something about them that's like.
Well, it's like you said. It's the passion that they have for what they're doing.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, you know, obviously some groups are, more
kooky.
A little more out there than other ones. But I even think that they all have like the same, like, I don't know. There's just like this awesome. It's a great community. I mean, when we started, like, looking into this, I watched a lot of different ones. I even talked to some people from some different ones. I made some friends with people that do this kind of stuff, and it's very, very interesting. But they have a great community of people, and it's like it's like the it's like the outsiders. Like, it's like just a different eclectic mix of people.
There's a pretty famous group from Rhode Island that are on. What were their names?
Was it Taps? Is that the one?
Yes.
They were like the ghost hunters, right? They were like the Sci-Fi Channel ones. Yeah.
And in the Northeast, there's no shortage of, ghost stories and heritage around that. I mean, just like 45 minutes from us is Salem, Massachusetts, which is obviously huge in that community and all of that, and everything's very old around here. So we're based in Rhode Island, obviously, 401 Films. But we just wanted to, bring our little film to you tonight and talk a little bit about it as we went and do a little director's commentary. This is our first time doing this, so bear with us.
and we haven't watched this in a long time.
Yes,
we were just talking about this. Like, I don't even remember the last time that I watched this. And we kind of got interrupted. So we the pandemic kind of crapped on our festival run. We did play at a handful of festivals, and then a lot of things went online, and some things, got canceled altogether. So obviously not really a big deal in thinking about all the bad things that happened in the pandemic. But, it did kind of short-circuit our plans, and that's why we haven't released it all this time. We just been kind of sitting on it. And so, we're going to put it out, and I hope you guys like it. So.
All right, so we'll start it right now, and we'll pause it as we go. And if you're listening if this ends up going up as an audio version on our podcast feed, watch the video. Either go to our YouTube channel, which is we'll put it in the description, but you can just search 401 Films on YouTube and find it. Go watch it there, because you're really not going to get the full picture of us talking about the film just here, because we're actually going to be watching it along with the film. So.
Right, and if you haven't seen it yet, don't watch it with us first. Like, go watch it first, because that hate.
It'll be out. It'll be out and on the internet by then.
Listening to us droll about it, like
true. It'll totally kill the experience.
We'll put it out before.
Yeah, it'll be out where you can find wherever you're finding this video. Point, it'll also be there as well. All right, let's start it.
I-95. 195.
Who's was that a rental?
We rented that.
Okay. If I remember correctly, when we first thought of like the Ghost Poachers van, the van that they use, it was a little bit older, a little bit more beat up.
We almost bought one.
Do you remember? Yeah.
I remember
yes.
that. Like,
yes.
You're a straight up like Scooby-Doo van. Like I actually had a really funny conversation with my insurance agent about that, because we had to buy insurance. If anyone doesn't know, we're at Fort Wetherill there in Jamestown.
And we have a fun story about that.
Yeah. Maybe pause it quick.
Yeah.
So we. But back to the van. I mean, I talked to my insurance agent about this, and I had to send her. I asked her if we could insure the van, this van that one of us found. I don't remember who it was. It was like $800 or $900, and we were gonna chip in and be like, oh, that'll be our grip truck. Like afterwards, like we'll keep all our gear in it, and so we can use from going to place. And I had to send a picture of it to my insurance agent because I told her it was an antique. I asked her if it would qualify as an antique, and it was like off by like 1 year. Like it needed to be like a 95, and it was a 96. And she laughed, and she was like laughing uncontrollably, and she was like, "I'm so sorry," like because it was so ridiculous. Yeah, but we didn't buy a van; we rented a van.
We did shoot some. Didn't we shoot some exterior shots of this rental van in the parking lot at Fort Wetherill?
Yeah, so we shot. There's a lot more that we shot that we didn't put in the. I kind of cut a lot of stuff out, and it was mostly because it was, I'm kind of like concise in the way short films. I think they should just get to the point, and so we shot a ton of stuff that didn't make it. There's even scenes in here that we shot that we didn't use, and it's not because they were bad. It was just, there was, if it doesn't. I like to get in and out when it comes to short films.
Yeah,
get right into it and then just move along.
Especially in the location we're shooting at right here.
Right, yeah. So we shot here, and there was, we didn't have any permits or anything. We just kind of showed up, and we went and scouted it out, and there was people there. Like they were coming across us. So you can play it because we'll see. This is the cool.
What?
So here's our entrance. Every tunnel is connected from one side of the island to the other.
Fuck that. I did not sign up to go spelunking. I thought you said this place was huge.
Ladies and gentlemen, let the record show that Nick is being a little bitch.
Why don't you lead the way there, Jimbo?
Shall we?
You want to talk about a little bit about the cast?
Yeah,
where we found everybody?
Here's our badass Tori, who played.
If there are any spirits here, please give us a sign. Make your presence known.
We say this all the time.
A cool breeze.
But
or a sound.
The interior
communicate
of Fort
with
Wetherill.
Tell us your story.
You can't beat that production design.
So when we shot this scene here, we're in a part of this bunker here. So and there was little kids and their parents outside, and they definitely walked in at one point while we were shooting, and probably horrified.
So our cast. So anyway, the cast. Yeah. It was a mix of people we knew, people we actually did casting readings for, which is a first for us.
Yeah.
And family, right?
Yeah. So right here. This is Mike. I've known Mike since we were kids. We went to elementary school together. I knew he had some acting experience, and I this kind of part, it's not this is kind of he's kind of an odd guy in this character, Miles, but Mike's not like that at all. Mike's very friendly, and but I knew that he could
well, we talk about passion. Yeah, he has a passion for exactly this type of thing.
Right? Yeah. I mean, Mike's the biggest horror movie guy that I know, so and I knew he had some acting experience and stuff, and I asked him if he'd be into it, and he was all over it, and
he was great.
He absolutely fucking kills it. I mean, it's and you'll see more of that later if you've already seen it, Yeah. But he totally crushed this. And then we found Sean. Funny thing about Sean, who plays
Nick,
he actually, and this is kind of nuts. When I was researching Fort Wetherill, because before we decided to use Fort Wetherill, I was looking at all these different places. We would throw around a bunch of ideas as haunted places because there's so many around here, like we were talking about.
Yeah.
And I was reading about Fort Weatherhill, and Sean actually like explores abandoned and like haunted. Like,
I remember you
spots.
telling me that.
He's got a Facebook page called Abandoned Wonders that I definitely was already following and read his like Fort Weatherhill like read up, not knowing it was him because it's not even his name on there. It's he has like a different name on the. Shout out to Sean for doing that research for me. But the and he kind of talked a little bit about the legends and stuff in his thing. So when we were casting for this, we put out a casting call, and shout out to Ann Mulhall, our casting director, who when Sean responded, she was like, that's your guy. Like, like we didn't even audition Sean.
Yeah,
she was
right.
like, that's your guy. And fucking he was perfect for it. And then talking to him after he, I realized he was really into this kind of stuff. So it was like a perfect fit,
Yep. You'll see later on. He has towards the end, he has a great moment that is kind of a tough scene to pull off.
Yeah.
So anyway, and then my buddy Adam plays Jim, and it was a nice little group of this is like a weird group of cast, like from all different places. Like we kind of like pulled from Friends again. We pulled from casting and
right. Yeah, my cousin Tori plays Kara, and she's kind of it's kind of hard to. We'll get into more like there's a feature story and there's more to these characters than we get to see here. So but we cast them for the reasons for that really. They don't really get to, unfortunately, express as much as they probably wanted to in the short because it's not as long. But
Shit. Sorry, guys.
And so there's a nice cameo by our director and writer,
yes.
Mark Allison,
Check us out, Ghost Poachers.
and our cinematographer as well.
Yeah.
Right for the day, or was that
Kyle. Kyle.
That was Kyle?
This is clear, guys.
Kyle shot. No, that was Colin. Right?
Yeah, right. I didn't know if we wanted to say. I didn't know if Colin wanted to be
Oh yeah.
Didn't know if Colin wanted to be named. Yeah, shout out to Kyle too for helping that day for the interior shots because
Yo, Ghost Poachers.
This is a nice
Does
one.
anybody have any idea where we're going?
Yeah, Nick. Just up ahead there, I think there's a rest stop. They've got
so
ice
it's
cream.
funny.
Party fucking hard.
I love that.
That's Sean.
Kids, public service announcement time from your old pal Nick.
He's so good.
This place sucks. There's nothing here. Find somewhere else.
We actually had footage on those prop cameras.
I was just
too.
gonna say,
I
yeah.
didn't end up using it because it kind of took you out of the moment, but there was some cool stuff.
But like you said, it would add a whole nother. What just happened?
I don't know. We gotta throw
Oh
that.
God.
That's all right. You can skip back ahead.
So it kind of like put. It kind of like would have put a whole different, twist. And like you said, this is a short. You want to get in and out. It would have.
Yeah, it was cool. There was a couple of really cool takes, and
Does
I don't know,
anybody
I just felt
have-
like it pulled you out of
Yeah.
them being in there.
All right. Hopefully this doesn't go haywire again. I don't know what that was.
Yo! I think I found a spot.
Also, shout out to these lights.
No, I think you found the spot.
The light that Tori is holding,
these
we got for
bombs.
$70 at B&H.
Yeah.
They're
Total
RGB, LED. So anybody doing guerrilla filmmaking or any kind of filmmaking,
Spirit
use them
who
so
resides
much.
within this place. We are protected and you cannot harm us. I address you with the
Shout out to
utmost
Lauren,
respect.
played Annie.
I've surrounded us with a shield of
Lauren actually
protection,
came and read
a
for us.
circle
Yeah,
that is
so we
bounded
cast. We had
together
a handful of girls
around
that
us
came
by
in,
our
and she
Savior.
absolutely
We are
crushed it.
safe
Crushed it.
within this
So,
space. We only wish to communicate
her.
with you and wish you no ill will. Tell us your story, and we can bring you peace. Who are you, and why do you reside here?
I have to get out of here. I don't feel so good.
Dude, Nick,
I ask
relax.
again.
We're almost done.
Who are you, and why do you reside here?
Nick, what are you doing? You can't break the circle.
Can't break
to
the
get
circle,
outta
Nick.
here.
What are you doing?
I have to go.
I love that Adam looking up is
yeah.
you
Big
giving
show.
him direction off camera,
Miles,
right?
let's
Right,
see
yeah,
if
that was
we can
actually
get
like
him.
an outtake that I ended up
Surrounded
using.
by a white spirit layer of protection you cannot.
Miles, what the fuck?
We are surrounded by the white
This
spirit
is-
layer of protection you cannot.
Miles!
We are
Mike.
surrounded by the white spirit
God,
layer of
bring up
protection.
He's bugging out. I think
And then
I started laughing when he was done, but it was only because my body had no other I was just so pumped.
So, yeah, I mean, and the audio engineering you did here is, I mean, I don't want to blow smoke up your ass because but it is tremendous. It just, I love the layering, and it starts slow, and then all of a sudden Adam's gaze, like I think you had to extend that clip, right? Did you slow down that clip of Adam looking?
Yeah. I know there was one we were talking about before when Adam. It's funny how you can use things that, like, there was a part where we just kept rolling, and he looked up. He was talking to me, and I ended up using the clip because it looked like he was looking at me.
He's looking right at Miles.
His concerned look was looking at him. It's just funny how when you keep rolling and don't cut right away, little things like that just pop in.
Yeah, and I just thought that was great, and like his gaze towards Miles as Miles starts losing it, and you get the echoes and the voice layering that you did, and it just
that was probably took the longest of the whole thing. Was
I remember you doing it. Yeah, it's tremendous. And also whoever we had someone helping us out with audio in the caves that day, right?
Yeah, Scody, he was fucking awesome guy, and he was like the most veteran of all of us. I mean, he's a veteran sound guy, working on like bigger movies and stuff like that. It was so dope that he came down. He was friends with Joe, our producing partner, Joe Riccitelli, and he got Scody to come down on a weekend day. It was off day, and he did the sound for us. Everybody was laved up, and it was awesome. It was easy for us to move around.
Yeah, totally. I can imagine. I wasn't there that day, but I remember you telling me like that was huge.
Everybody could just move, and he was he had everybody on his big mixer. Here we are going through these tunnels, and he was like he had his little audio cart like rolling around.
Oh really?
Yeah,
he had a whole cart.
He had the whole cart. It's fucking awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So there was no way we were gonna disguise that we were some like do it yourself. Like if anybody came like a park ranger, which was our biggest concern, showed up, who the fuck is this guy with the huge audio cart?
Yeah, right. All right, and now we're gonna go back to the pentagon.
Shout out to my friend Jesse Ortiz, who I asked if we could just drive up to Jamestown and roam around, and I didn't even tell her what we were going to do. And another friend of ours who will go nameless, who showed up to be the murderer, and we got there, and then I told him he had to do this, and he was,
I remember when we were. So I think this is tremendous. Obviously, I want to pause it right here, right before we do the finale here. But obviously, Mike selling this tremendous glazed over gaze. But that I remember when we were trying to figure out what that flashback scene or that vision was going to be when we were trying to decide what that was going to be. And I remember when you explained it to me that we at first we were like thinking about and we also have grander visions for like the feature and all that, but. It's going to be this very satanic thing because of the whole story or whatever.
Right.
And in that, I was like, this was perfect. And the way you shot that and the kind of like the flashback sequence, and I thought it was great because it feels like it's playing through a projector inside of Miles's brain.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it had that
that was the idea, that he was seeing this vision.
We're experiencing it how he's experiencing it in that moment, which I thought was great. You did a good job with that, rather than like a dissolve or a cut to here's what happened.
Right.
Thought it was again great audio design as well.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, sorry, no problem. And this is just
Kyle on the Ronin chasing him up the halls.
Yeah.
We did so many takes of this. We made Nick run up those stairs.
I felt so bad. That was
different angles and all this, and
we shot that during the exteriors. I remember because I was there for that.
Yeah, and then this dope song from Mad Lovely. You guys check them out. I think they just dropped it on EP. They let us use the song. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah.
Everybody that watches this asked me what this song is.
It's such a good song. There you go. We'll pause it on here for a second.
Yeah.
That last drone shot got us a little bit. I mean, I don't know if it was exactly the drone shot, but
I think that was
it
the
clearly
icing.
showed us
it was
where
the
it was.
Icing on the cake.
It was not a sound stage.
We couldn't say that we were somewhere else, so we got a nice letter from an unnamed agency. I won't even say who it was in Rhode Island that has from their lawyers that we shouldn't have done what we did by going there. But we kind of knew that was the case. Like, obviously, we just thought if we filmed it and got away with it, we'd be fine.
Yeah.
But
Which
we did get
nothing came of it.
Yeah, I mean, well, we're not. It's a short film. We're not like profiting off this. So I mean, I that's my thinking was, what are they gonna sue us for? We're not making any money off this.
Right.
But I mean, I suppose there could have been some kind of penalty.
Yeah.
But we have it framed up on the wall over here.
We shot that drone shot. We shot a bunch of other drone shots as well. The first day we were down there, when I was there with you guys doing the exterior shots, and I remember we were doing the drone shots and having poor Sean, run up those stairs. I mean, and that was the shot we used was one of the later ones too. So he's actually tired right there.
Yeah.
Like,
So right.
you
Yeah.
can tell.
It was literally like the last take. It was like, okay, we got it. Like
Yeah.
we shot it like 20 times.
Yeah.
And he was like, I can go again. Like he was a trooper, man.
Oh yeah, he was
an
awesome.
animal. And because we did that again with Kyle chasing him down the hall. I don't think it took as many takes, but he still had to chase him down.
Yeah.
And Kyle had to chase him with the camera in his hand going up the stairs.
Right,
so,
right. And that Ronin, the Ronin is not
but,
light.
But they nailed that. I honestly want to say that took like 3 or 4 takes.
It's awesome.
And they killed that. And Kyle nailed it with the floating motion, like coming around the corner.
Yeah.
And like Kyle, you're the man.
You want to talk a little bit about that, like the floating motion? Like, is it like what is the kind of like?
Yeah, I mean, it's open for interpretation, I guess. My thinking, was that they actually did talk to this spirit, which is what Miles was, alluding to. Like, oh, we want to talk to you, and they kind of maybe they freed it, maybe it just flying around. I don't know, but that's open to whoever. But the idea was that's what we wanted to make it look like, It's kind of like a,
play through the
entity.
All of these demons are lurking inside of my head, and I know this. Things is just broken in the worst way. I'm thirsty.
And shout out to Ryan Blake, did some of the music for this. That music that
I am not a fiction. Got no favors to be asking.
Mike, as Miles, is tripping out, and like that industrial, like that sound, like that.
Yeah.
Amazing stuff. We've used Ryan on the last project. He hooked us up with some stuff.
This song is great. There we go, thirsty.
I swear, everybody asks me whose song is that after they've seen it. Like anybody I've shown the screen or two.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm excited to get this out there and get some reaction because if you think like we've had it sitting in the can for so long
for no reason too. I mean, at first it was just because we had
yeah.
festivals and we're whatever. We had submitted to some festivals and they got postponed or delayed and then canceled, and so we didn't want to release it because I didn't think that would be right. And then the ones that we're waiting for like didn't end up happening, or maybe we didn't get into a couple of them too, but. So we and then it just became like it was just sitting here. So
yeah,
but we did write the feature version of this during the pandemic. So that if there's one good thing that came out of that on my end was I had more time to do that because we weren't filming anything else. And, we had been kicking around a story idea for a long time, and so I've sent it. The cast has read it. They all loved it. So hopefully, maybe this fall, maybe if it's
well, the
things
chess
are in the
pieces.
cards.
Yeah,
we've got a couple other things we're gonna work on beforehand. Some shorts to get back in this. We haven't shot a film when we've been shooting other things, but in a few years now. So we're gonna shoot a couple things, get our feet wet, and then see where we're at, and then. But ideally, we'd like to get back into that. We have some awesome people. I think it's a cool story. It's kind of a mix of a bunch of different Rhode Island legends, that we kind of played a little fast and loose with, things we made,
stuff we know from our childhood,
right?
Stuff
and
like
and just kind of combined a couple of different things.
Yeah.
And so locals will, I think, appreciate some of the things.
I think that's such an untapped thing when you think about like film, especially like now, like a lot of movies, horror movies we see, like outside of the stuff that me and you look at on Shudder and things like that, it's a lot of recycled. It's a lot of pulling from bigger stories. But I think like local lore, like the stuff that we're basing this stuff, is like really fascinating. Because if you think about the time before even internet, like when we were kids, like stories would travel and they would change and they would mutate, and those are the fun, like where does the truth begin? You know, where does fabrication begin and truth end? You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of stuff is fascinating to me, and that's why I love this kind of stuff. And like, I'm excited to shoot the future.
No, I couldn't agree more. And not even just our local stuff. I love reading stories, like just random little stories from wherever.
Yeah,
like, this is on upstate New York. This random, I love that stuff, and you know, it's I think a lot of people do. So
speaking about, we keep talking about here, and we're shooting stuff that's not films and stuff. So that here is this our office. We Joe, Mark, and I officially over pandemic. The first, I don't know if you remember exactly, but the first really time I went out to a restaurant in the pandemic was we went to Camp Nowhere.
Yeah, and they had shower curtains separating the tables.
They had shower curtains separating the tables, and we had a few beers.
I think that was the first time I did too, because it was because we got we have our own studio space now.
Yeah.
So it's half film studio, whatever, media's collaborative, half podcast studio, which is where we are here. Matt's baby, Vaulted Podcast.
Yes,
Vaulted Podcast. Get at my man Matt here.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll produce for you whatever you need. We do, as you can see here, we do video, we do audio. I have multi-camera setup and all that. But we all came. The three of us came together, and we decided we would like. This is something we had talked about for a long time. We found a good studio space, and so here we are. We're doing this. We're shooting some local people's music videos. We're doing some local business ads and things like that. And we like to do more in the community. So if anybody's out there that has some work they need done, or know somebody that wants it,
I'll at you boys.
Talk to us. Yeah, Yellow Canoe Creative, or you can hit us up 401 Films. Any of those. Vaulted Podcasts on Twitter. All those are on Twitter as well. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
No. I just said, like I was alluding to before, like we had shot. There's some more scenes and stuff. Maybe we'll put them out. Like
that'd be kind of fun, like a little
deleted
scenes, or like unedited.
I don't know. Sleep on that
there's one thing I do want to talk about actually, and that's the we also, we talk a lot about, like, we love local things. Like, we love local filmmakers, local artists, and things like that. So Mark and I had talked a long time about starting a web series / podcast that we want to interview some local people and not local people about the work that they're doing. And so look for that also in the future. If you're watching this, it's going to be a podcast hopefully soon. If you know anybody that you'd like, or if you have a film that you'd like to talk about that you've made and you want to come talk on our little show that probably will have no viewers at the start, but if you want to come talk to us, we would love to do that. So that's something to think about as well.
For sure.
I think that's it.
Hey.
So Ghost Poachers, it's out again.
Yeah.
If you just watched that for the first time with us, please go and watch it.
Yeah, like, I hope you didn't. I hope you watched it beforehand.
Please go and watch it by itself, because it was a lot of fun to do, and I don't know.
Yeah, we had and shout out to everybody that helped us with that, the cast, the crew, everybody.
I can't say enough about the cast.
Nah, they were all awesome, and I can't wait till you guys see them play those. Really dive into those characters in the future, because we have a really awesome story, and they're all so incredible. So
they really are.
It's gonna be really dope. And so hopefully stay tuned.
We got more stuff coming down the pipeline.
Yeah,
we're
got some
excited.
More shorts coming and stuff. We got some really cool stuff. So
thank
you guys for sticking with us and watching, and see you soon.
Yeah, see you soon.